I mean, I was with my grandma. I was 5 years old or whatever, and she said, "Get out, go play." And I went up, and there was this mountain called, it was the Table Mesa, and I went up there. It just tells you, 5-year-old kid running through the mountains, right?
Right.
Today it wouldn't
Right.
fly, but back then I went up there, and it was really tall grass, and I see these two guys having this bicolor German Shepherd, and this guy, the other guy, one of the guy had this big sleeve, and he started running, and they sent the dog after him, and he turned around and shot the gun back, and all that, and I thought this was my first experience with personal protection dog, and I guess I got imprinted.
Yeah.
Welcome to NWA Corsos podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
Welcome back to the NWA Corsos show. This is probably one of the most legendary shows you will see. We got a true legend in the house. I know people have been in the comment section wanting to get this man here, but tonight we have him. He's never appeared on anyone else's podcast but his own. Tonight, a true legend in the training and dog world, a true dog man, Hans Alpine. We welcome you, sir.
Hey, thanks.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right. Well, he's here, so let's get it going. Hans, you've been in dogs for over 50 years. You were the first to bring the Czech Border Patrol dogs here to North America in '81. Take us back. What did you see in those dogs behind the Iron Curtain that the rest of the world was missing and didn't understand?
Well, the workability, the balance, when I came to the United States, it was a tough start, and I started working for oil exploration, and we were shooting dynamite up in the mountains for seismic work, and we tripped avalanches sometimes, and so I said, I'm going to get me search and rescue dog and train it, because I knew how to do that from Europe. And I couldn't find anything. I realized how it was in the early 80s, 1981 or 79, 81. So I'm not very good at dates, remembering dates. Yeah. But it was in early 80s. And I couldn't, they were not really good German Shepherds. So I imported a few of them, and then people wanted more of them, and I trained them search and rescue, and then I just started doing protection here and all that, and that's how it first started. And then I started importing them from the guy named Ota Melon, which was a veterinarian. I found him in one of the Czech magazines about dogs. And so I gave him a call, and he started providing dogs for me. But it was, it grew up so much that he just couldn't keep up with me, right? Because he had a veterinary clinic business and all that. Right. And so he says, well, why don't you call Yuri Novotny? And I knew about Yuri, and he was in charge of the Border Patrol breeding program. He was colonel, which was the highest rank in Czech police, because the Czech Border Patrol is actually, I don't know if it still is, but back then it was part of Department of Interior, meaning police, right? And he was in charge. And so I called him. I called Iri, and he picked up phone, from America. And I said, would you, want to help start importing dogs to the United States with me? And he was quiet for a while. He said, okay. That's how it started. And then it grew up, and we started Ginopol, which is still in action. Of course, as you may know, Iri passed away of COVID, 4 or 5 years ago, and something like that. And it was a blow, to German Shepherd breed, and to me, it was on many levels. It was a blow. And I'm kind of maintaining, what I know, what I learned from him, and I'm trying to keep it up, and but it's our big shoes to fill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're considered a master when it comes to dog breeding. I mean, dog training and probably breeding too. But
okay,
what every teacher has a teacher, but from your teachers, what one or two things that still to this day that they taught you that hangs with you till this day?
You mean teacher like a dog teacher?
Yeah. Right.
I really, learned everything on my own. It was back then before internet.
Yeah.
And I did a little training in Europe, so I remember, the principles out there. I was with my grandma. I was 5 years old or whatever, and she said, "Get out, go play." And I went up, and there was this mountain called Crow Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Table Mesa, and I went up there. It just tells you, 5-year-old kid running through the mountains, right?
Right.
Today it wouldn't fly, but back then I went up there, and it was really tall grass, and I see these two guys having this bicolor German Shepherd, and this guy, one of the guy had this big sleeve, and he started running, and they sent the dog after him, and he turned around and shot the gun back, and all that, and I thought this was my first experience with personal protection dog, and
mm-hmm.
I guess I got imprinted.
Yeah.
Right. It left lasting impression on me, and there were other instances, but I think this one was probably the most memorable. And even since I was 4.5, 5 years old, I still remember it in vivid colors, and that's how I started. So saying, and then there was an organization called Swazarm, and I always follow them, and when they're sometimes training with them and stuff like that, which were training dogs, and I was kind of always hovering around it. And then when I came to America, with the search and rescue, as I told you, I started, and then, I start training, and I remember when I was living up in Wyoming, in Jackson, there was a bookstore on the corner, and they had this. I was so poor, man, I couldn't pay attention, right?
Yeah.
And there was this book by William Kohler, dog training.
Yeah.
And I always go and I drool over the book through the show window. I say, I want that book. I was saving money. It's a lot of money for me, and I bought it, and then I start following the instruction 100%, how it was on the obedience, and then we start doing protection. I worked with some local police, and saw what they were doing and all that, and kind of build on that. And then I started working for different kennels, Shiloh Shepherds, Kimbertal kennels, Sun Valley kennels.
Okay.
And I learned as I went. I never really had any teacher who would tell me, do this, do that. I just kind of learned on my own, and I tried it. And if it didn't work, I tried something else and all that. I've done it since 45 years here in America, and before that a little bit in Europe.
Right. Yeah.
So that's it.
No.
And then when I got together, of course, with Yuri, I trained with Yuri. He came here, I came there. We worked together. He showed me his stuff, and the Border Patrol training and the philosophy of their training. And then I've worked a lot with these guys in Georgia, Paul Corso and Jason Cotton. They got my dogs, and I did ride along for weeks with them and, see what the situation was. They did a lot of tracking with bite work on the end, and I drove along with them for weeks, and I learned, and we talk hours, about how to train this and what would be the best. So my knowledge is like a mosaic, like a jigsaw puzzle put together of different knowledges of what I saw around, and that's it's basically the result of what I'm teaching now. And I also learn a lot. I have to give her credit from Shiloh Shepherds, Tina Barber. She also passed away. She created the new breeds. You might have heard of it, Shiloh Shepherds.
Yeah.
And I worked there for a long time, and then Kimbertal Kennels. In Kimbertal Kennels, I probably trained the highest value of the dogs. There were times I worked 40 dogs a day.
Wow.
It was a giant operation, right? It was obedience protection. I couldn't even remember the dogs' names, man. So I was just thinking, and I could tell, and that's, how you can tell. That was one of the most valuable experiences. I could tell because, I said, Dobermans, right? So I said, they all look the same, And I said, like, what is this dog doing? So I started, and I learned to quickly recognize what the dog already knows, and then build on that.
Right.
So yeah, it's. I didn't, be apprentice somewhere or learn from somebody. I just learned by life, by doing it.
Yeah.
In different kennels.
Right. So if you guys out there, I highly doubt y'all don't know who Hans is, but he has a powerful catalog podcast over there called Hans Alpine K9 Real. Y'all should check that out. But
it's AlpineK9 Real.com.
Yeah, right.
Not Hans. There's no Hans in it.
Oh, it's not, okay. AlpineK9 Real. Sorry about that.
Oh, what is this? Oh, my channel. Yeah, Hans.
Yeah,
AlpineK9 Real. Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's what
I don't even know. That's Goblin's domain, man. I got to turn this computer around so you can talk about that.
It's all right.
Well, but the website, which includes this channel and includes the instructional videos and podcasts and shorts and all that. It's called AlpineK9 Real.
Right.
But the channel on YouTube is Hans-Alpine K9 Real.
Yeah. And later on, I'm gonna open up your website. We're gonna go through it, and we're gonna talk a little bit about it. But in your you got a popular video that I think it was called "Were German Shepherds Better in the Past?" It asked the question. You talk about the myth of the old giant shepherd. For the average owner, why is the modern obsession with huge dogs actually a detriment to protection work?
Well, I'm, every time I bred dogs or was involved in breeding of the dogs, besides Shiloh, I was breeding for standard size, and I still do, and I promote standard size. I don't breed for size. I don't think it's correct.
Yeah.
Shiloh Shepherds, it was different. when I was there, they still did German Shepherds back then. And Tina, she wanted to distinguish herself, so she bred for like a super large German Shepherd. So, because a lot of people, for some reason, like large German Shepherds, and I think it's an effect where when people psychological effect where people were little kids, right? And they had these German Shepherds in the home. It was size of a horse for them, right? Because they were small kids, right? And then they remember these giant German Shepherds. And now when they matured and they want to finally buy their own German Shepherd, they want that recreate that big German Shepherd they had when they were a little child. But I think that's where the desire for the really large German Shepherd goes. But I would try to discourage people, and I would like them to stick with the standard, because the larger dogs, they have a shorter lives and they have more health problems and stuff like that. So I personally promote the standard size or smaller,
Right.
To me, if I would want to select a dog for me, I want a smaller female.
Wow.
Personally, right? For work,
Okay.
because they're more alert, they're more gung ho and all that, and because they're smaller, they're usually healthier, they have better hips, and they live longer. That's me, and they fit better in the car. And if you do search and rescue, into the helicopter, and I want medium-sized dogs. I don't promote large German Shepherds.
Right.
There are other kennels who do, but I don't. I'm stuck on standard.
Yeah. So if you prefer a female for her certain attributes, what are you looking for at the puppy stage?
Well, I prefer females because they have more responsibility for survival of the bloodline. Okay? The male, and I'll go to what I'm looking at the puppies later, don't let me forget.
Yes, sir.
The male, all he does, if he fights with other dogs, he fights for the breeder's rights, breeding rights, right? So I kick your ass and I'm going to breed. And if he doesn't kick his ass, then maybe next year. Right?
Yeah.
That's a male.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of leeway, right? And they're more relaxed, kind of. It takes them a little longer to get up and start barking and stuff, and things are going south. Where female, as you know, they bark more and stuff, right? I mean, if you had a female, like especially in German Shepherd, they bark more because they're more alert. And the reason for that is, in my opinion, they also breed fight for breeders' rights, right? And they also have to fight for the survival of the puppies. They have to defend the puppies. And if they don't defend their puppies, the more dominant bitch will go and kill them. That's a fact. I don't care how it sounds.
Right.
And so the bitches who cannot protect their puppies, they will get eliminated from the genetic pool. And if you do this for a few hundred years, wolf and all that, maybe a million years, I don't know, or hundreds of thousands of years, you'll get some kind of a propensity towards that genetic makeup, for the bitch being more protective of the pups and being more alert and being more bitch.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as far as the how you can tell, people ask me this, and they say, "Well, how can you tell when can you tell if the puppy is going to be good or not?" Right? And it depends. First of all, you got to ask yourself, good for what, right? Or are you talking protection? You're talking search and rescue, you're talking, good for what? Pet, whatever. And a lot of people, when they come and look at the litter of puppies, they want the most aggressive, most active. But if you want a dog for family, that's probably not a good idea. Okay, so I always to families, I always advise them, and that's majority of people who buying dogs, right? Families and personal protection or family protection. So I always advise them to get the dog somewhere in the middle, right? Not the one who sits in the corner scared, and not the one who is right on, like first one everywhere.
Right.
Kind of the one in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you buying dog for personal protection, I want the one which is always first. And there's several different things you can evaluate. Like, for example, first day when the pups get born, right? You can look at the litter of pups on the tit of the mother. And the most aggressive one in first day or first few or in 2 days, or other way, as soon as they get all of them on the tits of the bitch, the one which is gonna be on top of the pack is gonna fight for the best, biggest tit in the middle and pushes the other puppies away.
Yes, sir.
You can tell right there.
Right.
A lot of times I can just look at the puppy and right there I can tell that's the one who's going to kick ass.
Yeah. Starts in the weapon box, doesn't it?
Police work, SWAT team work, personal protection work, that type of stuff. Not for family.
Right.
Right? And then of course you watch them as they mature, right? Another thing is, let's say if I'm gonna select the puppy for search and rescue, I want the dog to be most comfortable with different footing environments, deadfalls in the woods, taluses of rocks and stuff, or debris. I sold some dogs to NYPD, and they all use German Shepherds, and after 9/11, and every dog with NYPD, not necessarily the transit NYPD, but the NYPD who are on the surface, not in the transit. And back then, at least, I don't know if it changed, but they were using German Shepherds and trained them search and rescue. All the police dogs in NYPD, when I was dealing with them, were training their dogs search and rescue, right? And they do search and rescue in different countries too. Like if there's a need, they will go. They told me a story how they went to, where the heck was that earthquake down Haiti?
Oh, Haiti, yeah. I heard it. Haiti earthquake, yes.
Big earthquake there. So they were there doing search and rescue with their dogs. And this guy, he was, I think it was his dog, he told me. So they were going and searching, with the debris, all the buildings collapsed and all that disaster, right? He says there was this guy following them, right? And finally they sit down and kind of rest for a while, and then he approached them, came to them and said, hey, can I talk to you? And they say, yeah, what do you need? And he says, well, my house collapsed and my son is buried there. Could you go and look for him? So they said, yeah, sure, of course. So they went there and they found this little baby, man.
Damn.
It was just, yeah.
Wow.
So when I do search and rescue, if I'm preparing dog for search and rescue, I like the one who is slightly above the activity, but not too aggressive, if I look at the litter of the puppies. And then I take them to to the woods and start climbing over different obstacles, log of dead tree, or bunch of logs, or bunch of rocks. Or what I do also, I have a place, there is a creek, shallow creek, maybe only 4 inches of water, but the puppies are young puppies, 8 weeks or
Right.
7 weeks, right? They just barely getting out. And I'll take them out there and I jump across that creek, which is, I don't know, 10, 15 feet wide.
Right.
Right. And the puppies are on the other side and I keep calling them, come.
Yeah.
Right? And they're running up and down the creek, oh my God, he's leaving us.
Yeah.
And I wish which is going to be the first one who's going to jump in the water and make it across.
Right.
Things like that,
Yeah. Yeah. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I've heard you talk about this, and I cover a lot of dog breeding people. I get different opinions from everybody, but in a line, are you going to start your line off who is the most important in the line, the female or the male, or do they carry equal value when you're building a line?
Well, there's a confusion about that. Personally, I learned this from Yuri, right? This is probably the most valuable thing as far as breeding goes. I learned from Yuri Novotny. And that is, you see that thing behind me, that chart?
Yes, sir.
That's a chart of male bloodlines. Okay. And there's several different bloodlines, but there's basically 5 basic male bloodlines. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And as you see, it goes up. I'm trying to do it. And then you have a line here, right? It's like a tree trunk, like a beer, you see?
Yes, sir.
And then you have a branch here and branch here and branch here. This is DDR line. I'm not going necessarily by it, but but they are very similar, and they kind of, looking at the same thing from a little different perspective. But there's 5. I go by, I'm kind of minimalist, so I go by 5 basic bloodlines. All right?
Okay. Yes.
And every dog, male or female, has a father. Right?
Right.
This is not some kind of a social competition between males and females, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is just to make a schematic of how the breeding is done. And this has been done, Arabs hundreds of years ago bred horses that way, and people breed chinchillas that way, and rabbits and pigeons. And you can breed dogs that way too. And there's 5 basic male lines. So you go, and as that trunk goes up, you have a first branch. That's a first male line, and you go, let's say I can pick up any German Shepherd, right?
Yes, sir.
And let me see if I can move on the side. So let's say your dog is right here somewhere, right?
Right.
And I look at his pedigree. You can go on pedigreedatabase.com. It's the easiest way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you go from male to male to male to male to male to male until you come to this dog right here, which broke away and created the branch. Right?
Right.
So, and there's 5 of them, and they're known. And the first bloodline would be the first dog, right? Right here,
Yes, sir.
the first German Shepherd, right?
Right.
And then the second bloodline, it's right here. That would be started by a dog named Utz von Uckemark. And then the third one would be Clodagh von Boxberg, and so on. Okay, there's 5 of them.
Right.
So when you have a dog, you look at your dog's pedigree, you look at his father, right? And then you look at grandfather, great-grandfather, and you go father, until you come to this dog here. This first dog, which broke from where the branch started from the trunk.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And that dog was significant. I mean, I'm talking German Shepherds now. This dog was significant in characteristics which everybody wanna emulate or have.
Right.
Right. And these characteristics are known. I have another website which is called AlpineK9 forums with S on the end.com.
Okay.
I'm not active in there. I even lost my password. I don't even know how to get in, but I'm paying for it, so it's still there.
Yeah.
Okay. And you go to male bloodlines, and it tells you all 5 of these foundation dogs, right? So when you go and you pick up, let's say you have a German Shepherd, right? Not with your breed, but I'm sure that exists there too somehow, but I don't know if I put it together.
Right.
But it exists in German Shepherds. So you go from, and you go father, until you come to one of those dogs. Is this one, or this one, or, there's 5 of them.
Right.
And if you go on that AlpineK9 forums, there's 2 sections, German Shepherd and general topics. General topics are politics and crap like that. So you go to the German Shepherds, and I have pinned within first 5 topics male lines, and you have named those 5 dogs there. And then if you go a few posts down, I think 2 or 3, it'll tell you the characteristics of that particular line, right? So if you want to breed badass dogs, you breed second line. If you want to breed high drive dog, you breed third line, and so on, right? Okay. And that applies to male or female. People say, I get these women usually yelling at me, "Oh, that's what, a male again, huh?" And I say, "Oh, right?
Yeah.
The female dog has a father too, okay? So
Right.
So,
Yeah.
right. So you when you breed, you try to stay within the same male line, so you preserve those characteristics, right? So I don't go by what is more important, male or female. This is all, to me, that's all myth.
Right.
You get basically 50% male, 50% female. I'm more concerned, what is the male line?
Right.
Right?
It's characteristic.
For sport, I'll take 5th line or 3rd line, right?
Yeah.
Okay? I will make a podcast on it one day.
Yeah. You should, because that's another thing. You made a video, and America, we consumers. And
I remember that's how we start talking. You had that guy there talking about importing dogs and stuff like that.
I was going right there to you. I'm going right into it. I know. Hey, I know you. Hey, I know he's in the group. You didn't like that, but I was we talking about importing and importing dogs, and I made a video about importing dogs. I was speaking mainly to family pet homes. I didn't see, but I know the type dogs you doing. Oh yeah, but
I'm most concerned about the quality of the German Shepherd breed.
Yeah,
which is versatility.
That's right. Right.
Okay?
But before you start, What do we as Americans get wrong about breeding these type of dogs?
Okay, I'll tell you. Right? Imagine I just talked to you about these male lions, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example which may be limping a little bit, but it will kind of explain to you what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you have Labrador retrievers, right? I'm using
Yeah.
those a lot as an example, so people understand what I'm talking about, right? And you have a yellow lab, chocolate lab, black lab. You know, when Max von Stephanitz created German Shepherd, he picked up dogs from different part of Germany, and he want to generate versatile dog, which has all the characteristics, but because they come from different regions, they look a little different. That's why when you look at German Shepherd, there's all sorts of looks. Some of them have long coats, some of them have short coats, some of them are bicolor, some of them are black and tan, some of them are sable, some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. You know, some of them have a propensity to have a curly tail, you know, and stuff like that, right? Even the flaws are there, right? And so they have different characteristics because they were put together. But the idea was to create dog which have all those characteristics, so you can say, okay, I want to do police dog. So you can pick up puppy and train, if it's German Shepherd, and train police. Or you can take the same puppy and turn it into search and rescue. In other words, he has all the quality, he's versatile, right? Now going back to the Labrador retrievers. Imagine you breed black lab to black lab. What are you going to get?
Black lab.
Or yellow lab to yellow lab, you get yellow lab, and chocolate to chocolate, you get chocolate, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, what are you going to get if you breed black lab to yellow lab? You're going to get polka dot lab, right?
Yeah.
Kinda, right?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? You get some black labs, and you get some yellow labs, and you get some which are kind of half whatever, right? I don't know, right? You mix. You start losing the uniformity of the breed of you know, and in this case we're talking color, right? Now in German Shepherds or even in Labrador, you know, chocolate labs have a little different characteristics than, let's say, black labs, right? Temperament wise. So a lot of those colors also will tell you what kind of temperament you're going to get if you select this or that type of color over Labrador Retriever. And it's the same thing with German Shepherds. You have these 5 lines, right? And if you start mixing them, it's like you are getting, you know, you're breeding Labrador chocolate lab to yellow lab, right?
Yeah.
You start mixing the lines, right? Okay. So now imagine you pick up excellent Labrador Retriever, which is chocolate, and breed him to excellent Labrador Retriever, which is black. And you keep doing it, and you mix it, and you mix yellow lab and chocolate lab, and you keep mixing. Eventually, you get crap. Right. Even so, the dogs themselves, you're selecting the best dogs, but you are actually going backwards, because even Max von Stephanitz, when he created the breed, he line bred and inbred the first dogs in order to stabilize the characteristics. And if you start outcrossing, you're mixing it up again.
Yeah, you're losing consistency. Starting over.
Consistency, and it's like you know, you have a blueberry and you have a mango. So you eat blueberry and you eat mango, right? So you know what you're eating, right? Yeah. Now you put the blueberry and mango in a blender. What are you gonna get? and then you put apple in it, and then you put pear in it, and strawberry, and eventually you have nothing which resembles German Shepherd, so to speak.
Right.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And that's what people here in America are doing.
Mm-hmm.
They select. I mean, I can pick up an excellent blueberry and I can pick up excellent mango, but if I mix it up, I'm not getting neither.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
That's what they're doing in America when they breed the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they always have to go to Europe, where a lot of these breeders, they know what they're doing, but I don't know how it is working there now, but back then when I was there was a function of the German Shepherd Club, which was called Breed Warden.
Yeah.
Right. And Breed Warden was the guy who says, in order to have your dog registered, you want to breed it, male or female, you had to go through Breed Warden. And even so, you did not know, because it requires a lot of knowledge to know what these dogs over there are made out of and all that, right? So the Breed Warden, he knew that. So you get a Breed Warden, and he would look at pedigree of your dog and who you want to breed it to, and he says, okay, we have a lot of floppy ears here on this side and on that side. That's not a good idea to breed those two, right?
Right.
And then, but the dogs themselves were perfect, but they had a recessive gene for some crap, right?
Yes, sir.
And plus they were mixed with different bloodlines. So this Breed Warden, he could put it all together, and he would tell you to what dog you should breed to or not to breed to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what created the consistency and quality of the dogs from Europe. In Europe, the Breed Wardens were, keeping it straight. Like Erie was kind of like that, and then they did the breed surveys and stuff to find out what characteristics are there. And so, but Americans, they don't do it. They see, oh, that's a great dog. Oh, that's a great dog. Never mind his litter mates he's out of 10 litter mates, and none of them were dysplastic, right? Never mind that. He is a good dog. He has perfect hips. Well, what do you think he's going to produce? Probably 10 puppies, which none of them are going to be dysplastic, and there will be one with good hips. Especially if you breed it to the wrong female.
Right.
And this is not done in America. And this is what leads to the problems.
Yeah.
And that's why, when people breed nice doggy to nice doggy, it's like breeding nice chocolate lab, nice yellow lab, and or eating mango with blueberries.
Give your dog the best start possible. We offer proven tools, products, and supplements backed by our real-world experience and our passion for healthy dogs.
Juice,
Right. And you said something earlier too that goes along with this. They had great record keeping about what the dogs were for, what their talents, what their things were.
The Korung, the Germans call it Korung. There was all the description of the dog.
Yes,
and even now, when you look at the Czech dogs, they have like behind the name, if you look at the breed survey, and if you really do your research, they have like a code, of letters and numbers, right? And that code signifies, the size, the temperament, the color. It even says if the dog, when he bites, if you tell him will let go or will not let go, and there's a certain, that's part of the breed survey. Right. And so you can tell, then from what are the characteristics. It's on our website, on Genopol website is there. If you go, it says stable, and then you give you those descriptions of that code, and it tells you what that code means. Right. That way they keep the record, because that's part of the breed survey, because the dog in SV or has to, in order to have papers, SV is a German organization which was started by Stefanitz to create German Shepherds.
Yes, sir.
The dog has to have a show, has to have a title, and has to have a breed survey.
Mm-hmm.
Those three. If you didn't have all three and you have a litter of puppies, you couldn't register them.
Right. This is my thing for you too, being that it's still a lot. We still had to go overseas a lot to get these type dogs, better dogs, sometimes. But you see now in society, a softening of culture, and where they're starting to ban tools, ban.
It happens in Europe too now, man.
That's where they attacking first. So how long will we?
Don't let me start on that one, man.
Go ahead,
I'm
get started.
long-winded answering questions, but I can go on this one for hours.
Yeah.
I have this membership page on my Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this girl, and I talked to her, over the internet, and she told me that in many regions of Germany now you gotta, in order to have a dog, you gotta have a BH on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Czech back then, when I was there, we had these titles: ZM, ZVV 1, 2, and 3, right?
Right.
And those titles, because in communism, and I was in military, and they always told us not if we are gonna have war, they always said when we are gonna have war, right?
That's right.
And so they were always in constant preparation of war. Right. So if there would be a war, they would confiscate your dog for military purposes.
Right.
Right. That's just martial law. That was part of it. They would take your bicycle. They would take your car.
Right. Dang.
Right. So they would take your dog. Right.
Yes, sir.
And so, but what are they gonna do is a 3-year-old dog who has no training worth shit. Right.
Right.
So they would start these titles, right? The ZM, ZVV1, ZVV2, ZVV3. And if you had the title like that on the dog, they would, if you did not have the title on the dog, you would pay tremendous tax. Imagine you paying, I'm making it up, but how you would feel about it would be, like you have a dog, like pay for a dog tag. So every year you would be paying $1,000. Imagine, right? If you didn't have any title. But if you would have at least ZM, which means základní minimum, which means basic minimum, you would be paying only $5.
Right.
Right. So everybody want to train their dogs.
Yeah.
So they don't have to pay these if they want to have one, right?
Yeah,
and that's then led to, hey, Joe Blow down the street has really dogs which are easy to train. And that promoted the quality of the dog too,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's where the Czech dogs came from, right?
Right.
Because that was they still do that. I mean, the titles. I don't know how is the tax. I don't live there anymore, so a lot of things I'm just going and pulling out of my memory how it was when I was there.
Right. I want to ask you some questions, being that I gotta give you a lot of kudos.
Hey, something happened on the screen here. Hold on for a second.
Okay. What I did, I just pulled up your website up on.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So,
what is this?
And I was just telling you that you are a smart man, because I know like a lot of our elders, our older guys, don't accept technology, but you jumped on it and started courses and different things, because you can't be everywhere for everybody now.
Well, I couldn't do this. This is Gabor doing this.
Yeah, I know Gabor is doing it, but you're a part. You with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we are like partners in this.
Yeah. So here you have a membership. Join the membership.
Yeah, that's on Facebook.
Okay, that's the Facebook page. Man, you got like
You can join the membership on a page on a Facebook, and if you click on that, join the membership, it'll tell you how to get there. And we open the membership only periodically, so you can register yourself, and then when we reopen the membership, we contact you that you can join now.
Right.
And there is the obedience mainly. So people can go to the purchase training videos. You see that, right? Yeah. No.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
let me pull it up. Yeah.
Right. And you can purchase all the videos, right?
Right.
And
yeah.
Or you can go on the membership, and the obedience is there step by step. And as long as you pay the membership, you have access to it.
Okay.
Or you can buy it here, and it's $99, I think. And then, that's for the obedience. But the membership also have, for some reason, people are shy and they don't ask much question about obedience, but they always talking about, well, my dog is doing this, my dog is doing that. So I give them really extensive explanations and all that, which I don't do on regular Facebook pages.
Right. So Gabor, he compiled all the information from your podcast and other places, and with AI, and y'all got something coming out with AI, right? Is that what I was hearing?
Yeah, there is a on that membership page. There is a feature called Virtual Hounds.
Okay.
Virtual Hounds, right? And it's like a blue frame with my mug face shot in it, and you can ask any questions, and Gabor. No, okay. So when we started that, the AI pulled up any crap answers from internet.
Yeah.
And I started reading it. I said, "This is not what I'm saying. This is crazy talk."
Yeah.
Right. So Gabor then went and picked up, which you see all these podcasts. So he digitized the answers and the talking of these podcasts. So whatever is in the podcasts is included in the virtual hounds. And it's reference to the particular podcast. So when you ask question and I'm talking about some of those things in these podcasts, it'll take you right to that place where I'm talking about it.
Right. I want people to know.
And then we also are expanding it. So when I post something on internet, usually on Facebook, I will put his, I will tag him in, and then he can also put it there, right? So it's very. So when you asking the virtual hounds question, you're really getting my answers.
Right.
So there's no, positive only crap or stuff like that from internet. It's just what I'm saying.
Man, y'all got a lot of stuff over here. That's why people that was asking me to ask certain questions, I wasn't going to ask ask him that, because I was going to open this up and show you all the videos he have on different.
I don't know how many there. I think it's more than 150.
Yeah, it's 150. Right, yeah. It's a lot of them.
Yeah, those are the podcasts which you're looking at, and then there is shorts too.
Yep, you got the shorts.
So
right, so it's a lot of resources here. Let me ask you about this. I'm gonna get into some of your fans' questions.
In other words, if Gabor gets hit by a bus, I'm screwed, man.
Yeah. Well, he does a good job.
He does excellent.
Your setup is professional. Your thumbnails off the chain. It makes people want to click on them, and everything looks good. The mic setup, everything's nice, and that's very important. Now, do y'all do anything on Spotify, or do y'all send stuff there?
Yeah, there's the audio version of Spotify. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, let me get into some of these fan questions, and this one is about the whip. They wanted me
about what?
The whip. Is using a whip necessary to make a personal protection dog?
I don't use whip, and Yuri, I learned this from Yuri. I used to use whip, and it gets dogs real riled up, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're popping the whip.
Right.
Popping. I don't use the popping. Okay. Because gunfire. Okay. So when you shoot a gun, there's several noises happening.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog's responding to all those noises, right? Taking safety off, click.
Mm-hmm.
Rags the gun, right?
Yeah.
You pull the trigger, the explosion of the charge in the cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
The bullet flying out of the barrel will hiss. And this is important, and then it also hit the ground. That's a slap and all that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the most important part is the biggest noise when you fire the gun is actually sonic boom.
Sonic boom, yeah.
So if the bullet goes through the sound barrier, that makes this crack. Now, sometimes there's ammo which, I'm going on tangent, but there's an ammo which doesn't fly through sound barrier. It's called subsonic, okay? And they don't create, and so they don't create that crack, right? But most bullets, they fly through the sound barrier. And so what happens is when you're cracking the whip, that pop, what do you think you're doing? You're playing Chuck Yeager, right? You're also flying through sound barrier with the tip of the whip. As the tip of the whip is breaking through the sound barrier, it creates this crack. That's what you hear. Same thing as a jet does. A little smaller, or the bullet does, right?
Right.
So now imagine you go out there and you start doing protection, right? And you say, pozor, which means alert, and go pop, 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 pop. The dog quickly associates that noise with protection and bite work. I call it undesirable association, right? Now imagine you are a cop and your partner is shooting gun next to you. Who's popping the whip in training? The bad guy who's going to get bit.
Right.
Your dog may bite your partner because he just fired a gun.
Mm.
It works that way.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to have any negative, undesirable association between popping the whip, that noise of the sound, breaking of the sound barrier. You don't want to generate it around the dogs during protection training. Now, I do generate the popping noise when I teach come, right? I have a little litter of puppies, and they're doing their puppy stuff in my backyard, and I'm going to feed them. So I take a dish, and I say, puppies, kemnie, which means come, pop, pop, right?
Yeah.
And give them the food, right? And so next time when I say come, they think they're getting food, right? And so they come. I mean, there's many different ways I incorporate into training comes. This is not the only one. And the pop I'm using, they're associating with something positive, not with gunfire, but with getting food. So they don't become aggressive to the gunfire, and they also don't become gun shy of the gunfire, because the reason why the dog is gun shy is that unpleasant. When you shoot a gun, how it hurts your ears.
Oh yeah.
And the dogs have much more sensitive ears, hurts them even more, right? So when I pop that whip or shoot the gun, it may hurt their ear and they may become gun shy. But when I pop the whip and then I feed them, then they associate the popping the whip with something positive, and they are not gun shy.
Right.
Understand?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I also say come, so I get as much mileage as I can from that particular activity, right? So they don't come because they get food, and then I pop the whip so they are not gun shy.
Right.
But they are not gun shy because I'm using it around food, not around bite work.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So the next one they asked was, I'm not trying to get too much of your knowledge for free. We're going to get.
No, I don't care.
Okay. So they said,
man, I'll answer.
Yeah, you got it for days. You said, look, this is a simple one, but it's a big one. You said that jumping between trainers is a recipe for disaster.
That's right.
Why is it that fans often see better results by sticking to one, even if they're not very good, than going to another one?
Well, if you have a bad trainer, you need to switch.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But generally speaking, there's different training systems. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go, and let's say I train civil training. I done sport. I was second in nationals in 2004 or 2005 in PSA. I did sport. I did pay my dues there, right? Mm-hmm. But now I do strictly personal protection, civil type of training. Mm-hmm. Now I'm teaching you to have your dog civil. I say alert command, and the dog negatively targets the person, mm-hmm. not the suit, not the fabric or toy or anything, just the person. That's what I do. Okay. If I say alert, the dog thinks that guy is a bad dude, I'm gonna destroy him. That's what that's the civil training. Now imagine you go and you work with me, and then you go to some sport trainer or somebody who's teaching the dog to chase towels, right?
Yeah.
On command. We're screwing up my training. And the dog is gonna make mistakes. And then I come and the people do that and they don't tell me, and I can see it, when the dog bites the sleeve and the decoy pulls out of the sleeve, or we store sleeve on the ground, the dog starts picking up the sleeve from the ground. I said, where the hell did you go train dogs? Oh, nowhere. I said, don't bullshit me. The dog is never going to pick up sleeve in my style.
Right. Which is a major
thing. You're mixing two different systems. My system is, I don't want to embellish myself too much. I guess that's the word.
Go ahead and embellish.
The most people or trainers, they don't understand how to make the dog civil. They're building them on equipment, and then they think if they remove the equipment, the dog is going to bite the person. We all seen videos of police dog chasing after bad guys through parking lot, hopping on him and not biting him. Why is that? Because the bad guy doesn't have a sleeve on. There's a video from Albuquerque. If you look up John Boyd killing in Albuquerque, many years ago it happened. That Malinois, there's this homeless guy, whatever, on the side of the mountain. He doesn't want to come down. So they throw a flashbang grenade at him and all that. And after about 3 hours of negotiation, right? And they send this Malinois on him. It doesn't matter if Malinois or Shepherd or Chihuahua. It's just send the dog on him, right? And the dog runs and charges the guy, And suddenly, in the corner of his eye, the dog sees some blue jacket or something, or suit, or backpack, or it's hard to tell. And he says, forget it about the bad guy, and goes back and starts trashing that bag on the ground, completely forgets about the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
And meantime, the bad guy pulls up knife, and they shoot him and kill him, right? So the guy died because the dog failed his training.
Right.
he's targeting equipment. Okay,
Right.
You know.
And you believe in the well, let me ask you this way. Why do you teach defense versus prey?
Well, I use spray.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But people say Hans is against spray. No, I'm not against spray.
Okay.
The defense and prey have two different functions. I always try to train the dogs based on nature. What is the defense used in nature? On defending.
That's right. Yeah.
Voila, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Defending.
Yeah.
And defending what? Against enemy. Somebody's coming at me. I got to defend myself. I got to defend my puppies. Like with the bitches defending puppies.
Mm-hmm.
I got to defend my resources, my food. I got to defend my territory for hunting territory or breeding rights or whatever. And that's defense.
That's defense. You're right. You're right. And another thing you
I want the
said
dog to protect, in this case, me, the pack member.
That's right.
Right? So defense.
Yeah. You said an
Now,
important
prey,
thing. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now, prey is used for hunting. To chase something, kill it, and eat it. Or find the track it, and then chase it, and then grab it, and kill it, and eat it. That's prey drive. And then maybe pick it up and take it back to the den to the puppies, which the bitch will do. That's also part of the prey drive.
You're right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's interesting and confusing, that the prey drive has a defense drive component to it. Okay. Which means I'm the dog. I go hunt, I kill something, right? And I have it now, and now somebody is coming and trying to take it away from me. Some another wolf or dog or whatever, right? So I start defending that food. That's a defense drive, right? Which is a subsection of the prey drive. And there are groups of people, and that's very popular these days, and it's an error. They build their training on this type of a defense drive. So in other words, there's this guy, I know him from PSA days, Jerry Bradshaw, good guy, wrote a book, excellent book on the topic. But what they do, they channel the prey drive into defense drive. So what they do, they get the dog bite on the sleeve and teaching the dog target the sleeve, right? And then they throw the sleeve between the decoy and the dog, right? And the decoy goes and acts like he's gonna steal that sleeve. That's so biting into the sleeve was a prey drive.
Yeah.
Right? But now the sleeve is on the ground, and dog says, that's my sleeve.
Yeah.
I'm going to defend it. That's my rabbit.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And the decoy acts like I'm going to steal it, right? And when he tries to grab it, the dog, the handler is telling the dog, protection, bite command. And he by that, he communicates to the dog, hey, he's going to steal your shit, man. You better go and kick his ass. And it goes to the point that they remove the sleeve and the dog still does it. But there is a problem. It's all based on prey. Object and prey drive. So if the dog, like the dog in Albuquerque, sees something which reminds him of a prey object, he says, why should I bite him? That's right here. Blue jacket. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And that's a mistake.
Yeah. Which
what I train, I built in defense.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to the dog, if you hear my alert command, I'm using Czech commands, which is pozor, which means alert in Czech. That guy in front of you, or guy which you may not even see, which is behind the corner, is going to come and kick our ass. So we better kick his ass first. Right? There's no prey.
Yeah.
At all.
Right.
And then the guy comes and kick your ass on the dog. And we teach the dog that if he bites that guy, that the guy is going to go away. And we do it through what I call escalation, right? So we start with young puppy. I start some puppies as early as 6 to 8 weeks. Look at my podcast, Porch Training. I sit on the porch, right? My rocking chair, right? And I have a 7-week-old puppy next to me. And somebody is walking down the driveway towards me. And somebody to the puppy is violating territory, right? He's invading his territory. So the puppy goes up and goes, woof, woof, what is it? And I said, good boy.
Good boy.
Watch him. Pozor. Right? Growling. I'm growling too, right? We both growling. And then the person comes, and I found out it's a Myrna who's bringing me apple pie. So I said, it's okay, it's just Myrna. And the dog needs to shut down. That's how I train dogs. All of it, there's no, you know. And then, you know, I people say, well, you based on fear. I said, what's wrong with fear, man? If you don't have fear, you will start walking off the cliffs and into fire, man. That's not good. You know, so the dog says, okay, imagine you are sitting by the campfire in the mountains somewhere at night, 10 o'clock at night, and suddenly you hear somebody is walking towards you. Are you going to be kind of like, hey, this may not be good?
Right. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's caused by what? By fear.
Right. Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that. And so I'm communicating to the dog. I'm communicating to him, hey, there may be somebody behind the tree, behind the corner, or around the corner, or somebody coming at me. And if I give you the command, that guy is a bad guy. There's no sleeve or prey object or anything like that. Strictly the person. So it's all based on defense. And if that person, keep coming, he breaks what I call fighting distance. The dog starts barking, and then, speaking of the escalation, closer he's coming and more he's pushing at the dog. He may produce stick or whatever. I teach the dog, if you escalate, okay, then the guy's going to run away. Right? And so this is the bad guy, this is the dog, right? So the bad guy escalates, dog escalates. When he escalates, bad guy run away. But the bad guy next time may escalate even more. So I teach the dog the escalation. If you escalate enough, the bad guy is always going to run away.
Yeah.
And I can do it forever.
Yeah, he got to win. Yeah, he got to win.
Of course, he got to win,
Yeah.
That's answering your question between prey and defense.
Which would be why prey works so better for sports. This difference between sports.
Well, in sport, they use prey because it looks better, because there's no fear. The dog is just playing, really. How many times you hear sport people say, oh, the dog gotta have fun. Right? All the time.
Right.
And then you see they take the dog in a high-level competition, and the decoy is a badass, or the helper, they call it in sport, is a badass, and put some pressure on the dog and dog runs away. And everybody says, ah, you see, poor dog. No, it's not the dog. It's a training. You didn't teach the dog to escalate. I mean, you can escalate in prey too, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But in sport, the dog in prey looks good. And when you do sport, you do it for points. I don't care about points.
Right.
I care about the dog kicking ass. You know, people always show me these dogs doing crazy stuff, walking between the legs and roll over and all that. And I said, I said, what do you think? And I said, oh, it looks good, man. But does your dog kick ass?
Right. What are your thoughts? You have a kind of a no nonsense obedience, right? And it focuses on dogs working because they must do it, not just for a treat or a cookie or whatever. Yeah. How do you bridge the gap between a dog that sits for a treat and a dog that stays in a downstay?
I don't bridge any gaps. I don't use treats or toys.
You don't use none of that?
No.
Okay.
Zero.
Okay.
Ever.
All right.
As a matter of fact, I think it's basically all founded on that book I bought in Jackson Hole, Wyoming by William Kohler, remember? I told you about in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
got that old baby right here.
There you go. There you go. Right. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly.
But the thing is, you know, I teach the dog. You have to. If you do obedience, you can do it two ways, right? One of them I call you can teach your dog tricks, and in order to piss people off, because that's sometimes makes me tick. I say circus tricks.
Yeah.
And people say, well, you know, why would you want to be derogatory? I said, because that's what it is. You're teaching your dog circus tricks. You know, all these weird walking back, heeling backwards and
right.
And, you know, whatever. Right. You know, and sport basically is doing the same thing. They teach tricks. They don't teach obedience. The obedience have two parts. Number one, the dog has to perform specific physical exercise. So if I tell the dog down, he needs to lay down, that motion down, right? And number two, the more importantly, I am using obedience training to establish leadership position. So if I tell the dog, say sit, do sit, and I give him cookie, then I am just what I call lovingly pest dispenser. Yeah. Right? Dog sits and he pushes the lever and he gets a cookie.
He's working for the treat.
He's working for the treat. He's not working for me. And I want the dog to work for me and with me. We're a team. We're a pack. Right? And I'm the leader. And I'll tell you what to do or not to do. Okay? So when, again, that's why my obedience is called out of drive obedience, right? Because in drive obedience is used for sport. In drive meaning, you know, food drive, prey drive, basically. Food drive is part of the prey drive.
Yeah.
And the dog looks good, you know, they prance, they give me the cookie, give me the cookie, give me the toy. They don't care about what you want. They just want, you know, their mind is on the cookie or the toy. You know, where when I tell the dog to do something, I say, do this or that, let's say down, and then I make him go down after I give him the command. So I start with his name, which is a preparatory part of the command. So I say, Fifi, down. And then I apply pressure on the leash. I don't overpower the dog. I just apply enough pressure so the dog knows what I want. And she doesn't want to go down or he doesn't want to go down. It's okay. I'll wait. Finally, the dog says, okay, this is stupid. And they lay down. They submit
Right.
to my wishes. And as the leash falls down, I don't drag them down, right? I just let them make the decision and then they continue on their own. Right? So they do, for me, what I like them to do, not what they want to do. And then when both elbows, I'm talking down command now, touch the ground, right? I say, good boy or good girl, pat on the head, right? And by doing so, that's a reward. That's a paycheck, okay?
Yeah.
And doing so, the petting induces hormone called oxytocin in the dog.
Okay.
And oxytocin is a bonding hormone. And oxytocin also feels good, makes the dog feel good. For example, when mother licks the puppies, they both produce oxytocin.
Right.
Right? They both make them feel good, you know. Okay, and so the petting produces oxytocin, which makes the dog feel good. So I'm basically turning the dog into drug addict.
Yeah.
When I tell him down, he wants that oxytocin dose, so he goes down, and I give it to him.
Yeah.
I'm like a drug dealer. Except I'm giving him natural high, right?
You're right. The touch is the reward. You just see it in their face. Oh, yeah, touch me.
Yeah. And you know, it's really powerful. People say, well, that's not powerful enough. And I always say, you know, have you ever seen dog, which we call petaholic? You sit, watch TV, and there's this dog nudging your hand that can't pet me.
Yeah.
Pet
Right.
me, right?
Uh-huh.
And he said, get the hell away from me, man. You know, and dog goes away, and then like 15 seconds later, he sneak up and again nudges you. Like,
Yeah.
you can't pet me, man. You know?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That's so powerful. That desire to have that drug of oxytocin, natural drug, but drug, the hormone, that they do anything for it.
Right. They will. The affection, the touch. Everybody wants attention.
That's what my training, you know, which I saw the
Natural.
Yeah, it's natural. It has to be natural. You see, you have, you know, that's a good thing you touched on. All right, there's two different kinds of trainers. There are ideologues, and then there are natural trainers. Ideologue trainers are the purely positive and all that, you know, and they're ideologues. Oh, everything gotta be happy-go-lucky, but it goes against nature. And if it goes against nature, then it's ideology. It's not real. It will backfire on you in critical situations. You know, so you have to make the training based on nature, right? And that's
right. Yeah.
That's all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Everything on nature. Everything I do in obedience protection, search and rescue, behavioral modification, anything you ask me, I can justify it by or explain it through nature.
Right. Right. Yeah. Everything you talked about tonight, you gave perfect examples of that. The natural. Yeah. So
if it's not natural, it's not scientific. Science and nature are the same thing.
Right. Right. And a dog working for the treat, you know, you got the positive only people. I don't see how that'll be more, you know, when that negative response is coming, you know, the positive, even we have to live under if we do something wrong or.
Well, I use corrections. They're also natural. They simulate the dominant dog bite on the back of the neck.
That's right.
So when I say no, okay, first the dog has to understand the command, right? So I teach them what down means, for example, or sit or whatever. Okay, and if the dog, I'm talking obedience now, and so if the dog understand the command, so if I say down means put your elbows on the ground, okay, and he doesn't do it, then I growl at him.
Yeah.
Oh, fully.
Yeah.
And correct him on the leash in the direction I want his head to go, which simulates dominance dog bite on the back of the neck, the choker, right?
Yeah.
And then when he does it, he gets his drug dose of oxytocin.
Right.
Good boy. Okay.
So positive only training goes against nature in ways.
Yeah, there's no such thing as only positive in nature. That's retarded.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's,
I mean, what's positive in nature? I get kicked my ass every day by nature.
right. Right.
Get out of the bed a little bit too late, and he's supposed to call a guy who was going to buy $5,000 dog, and he missed it, and he bought dog somewhere else.
Right.
That's nature. I messed
Yeah.
up.
So I'm sure it's a lot of aspiring young trainers that look at you, and you was talking about earlier how it's a lot of fancy, healing work and stuff like that. And I know that they do that for, probably attention. There's a lot of camera work nowadays from people. But what is the one thing that you feel the younger generation may be overcomplicating, and what is one old school truth they may be ignoring?
Well, there's a lot of overcomplication by trainers who want to justify the exorbitant fees, right? But basically, it's very simple. I'm selling my obedience video for $99. Okay, that's not much these days.
No, that's not. Yeah.
And there are trainers who will teach you how to train the dog for $25,000. I'm not going to say no names.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay, they're in their own business. They're doing it wrong, right?
Yeah. 25,000. Damn.
25 or 27, whatever. Over there,
Yeah. So
I can give you the name privately.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm not going to drag somebody on the internet here.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't talk about other dog trainers.
You believe the future of dog training for most, when we talk about the dog, we always got to talk about the family. The family is probably the number one consumer of dogs. Do you think this will be the future of dog training? Mostly
what?
Online, courses.
I'm sorry, you broke up. What?
Courses. Do you think courses will be pretty much the future of online dog
when
training?
you train the dog, right? When you get, I found out with people who just got dogs, they want to do everything. They want to do protection, they want to do sport, they want to do search and rescue, they want to hunt truffles, I don't know. Pick one thing. Okay, pick one thing. You want to do sport, do sport. You want to do civil training, do civil training. I did sport. I learned a lot in sport. But sport is not good for personal protection. So I start getting, when I'm selling dogs to people, there's almost nobody wants a sport dog from me. They call me because, for example, right now I'm dealing with a football player. Again, no names. And he is training, and so he's away from home, and he wanted his girlfriend, have a protection dog.
Right.
And that's my clients. I'm not saying they gotta be celebrity like this guy is, but I'm saying, people calling me because for protection dogs, because they want the dog to protect. They don't want to do sport. Some do.
Right.
Okay. But generally, so I start doing what's I call so-called sportism, right? And that I start developing the protection through sport, and that's a mistake.
Simple test.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can, I can prove it to you. He sent me a note here.
Okay.
I was reading it.
Yeah, he said you're talking too much. No, he said, "Don't tell it that. Don't tell that part. I see you, good boy."
Too late for that, man. No, he says, I can prove it to you. You can come at the dog with a stick and give him a bite and pull out, and if they start trashing the sleeve, the dog is useless for protection, right? So I start saying, well, how am I gonna make these dogs to actually do protection rather than just chasing sleeve on the guy's arm, right? So when you start training dogs and you have a dog, decide, what do you want? You want protection dog? Train protection. Buy my videos.
Right. Can you turn you turn a sport? You can turn a sports dog into a silver dog as well.
It's very hard.
Very hard. Okay. Yeah.
Very hard.
Yeah.
The dogs develop really quick it's called default.
Right.
Default is what the dog learns first, likes the most, does the best, and evolve it reverts. That's the word I was looking for. Reverts to what he learned first.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I teach the dog first to chase a towel or target sleeve, and then when you stress a human being or a dog, they always go back to what they learned first. And higher the stress, the lower they go until they come to genetic default, whatever genetics tell them to do. So when I train dog, let's say if I would want to do sport and protection personally, I would first teach the dog to target the man. And only then I would teach the dog to target the equipment.
Right.
And basically, if you train the dog to target the man, all the sports which involve sleeve are gone. You've got to go with the equipment suit.
Right.
That suit, okay? But if you decide to, if you get a dog, you have a puppy, and you're full of enthusiasm and want to do something with it, decide what you want to do. Do one thing.
Yeah, do one thing.
Do the protection, or do sport, or do search and rescue, or whatever.
Right.
Do that. Just do one thing. And if you become a dog person, hey, get another dog for the other thing.
I got you. Hans, I know you got to drive, so I'm going to let you go. This is going to be my last one. First off, I want to end by telling you, man, I really appreciate it. Man, I don't know what's going on this year, but I've been getting some interviews that I never thought I would get. And so I really want to.
Famous, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. I'm just a student of the game. So, but this is the last one.
I like what I like about you, and I know that you're objective. You don't bash anybody. That's good.
Yeah, I try not to. I've been in a few wars, but it comes with the territory.
Based on what I have seen so far from you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. After 50 years of breeding, importing, training some of the hardest dogs on the planet, right?
Yeah.
What legacy do you want to leave behind? When people see an AlpineK9 dog 20 years from now, what do you want them to say about it?
I want to preserve the versatile German Shepherd.
Yes, sir.
The versatile German Shepherd, meaning, and it's amazing how people misconstrue what versatile means, okay? To me, versatile dog is a dog which I take a puppy, and I can take that puppy and make him this or that from that one puppy. That's what Max von Stephanitz wanted. That's why if you read his book, which is hard to read, as a matter of fact, we're translating the book now with Gabor here to more palatable English. But one of the things which he wanted to do, I mean, not one of the things, the thing he wanted to do was to create versatile breeds, that you can take that one dog, which would be German Shepherd, and you can turn him to be military dog, police dog, personal protection dog, herding dog, and he learned that all that comes from herding dogs, because herding dogs, they have all these qualities, all of them.
Mm-hmm. He's a total dog.
Total dog, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You probably read it somewhere where I said that.
Mm-hmm.
Total dog. He wanted, Stefan had said that.
Mm-hmm.
He wants total dog, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's what I want. I want to preserve the total dog. If not just on the street like the real dogs, but also in people's mind. I want them to think, if I see German Shepherd, I can take that dog and let him do anything I want. Once you start narrowly specializing the breed of German Shepherd, you are destroying the breed.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Now there are different breeds, like you have a Labrador Retriever will hunt ducks, whatever, right? Canine Corso, estate dog, protection, yes, right? Mm-hmm. They probably won't be that very great for search and rescue, I don't think.
No. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So there are specialized breeds,
mm-hmm.
but the German Shepherd is unique, that is versatile, and that's what I would like to get to people across,
Right.
Not just genetically, but also training-wise,
Right. All right.
Look when you train the dog, look what you're training it for. Look what nature telling you about the type of training you want to do. Defense, spray, whatever. We talked about it.
Yes, sir. Well, Hans, we thank you for your service in dogs, just your knowledge, just as a man. I've listened to many of your stories of you coming up, and what a story. You might have a movie made about you one day. Yeah. Gabor, let's work on that.
Yeah. I want to be played by Kevin Costner. Or Brad Pitt.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Gabor, hey, thank you for everything. And Hans, I appreciate it. It's such an honor to have you on the show, sir.
Hey, anytime, if you want to do this again, let me know.
Oh, don't tell me that now. I'll be bothering you again.
I'm always sucker on talking dogs, man.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again. All right, everybody. We'll see y'all next episode.
Step into the realm of canine wisdom with our podcast, NWA Connie Corsos, where we interview dog men and women from around the globe. Discover their talents and insights on breeding, training, nutrition, and the rich history of dogs. Tune in to the most underrated yet influential dog podcast on social media. Your journey into the dog world starts here.